Your body belongs to you, and you get to decide who touches you and how they touch you. So just a quick reminder that my content is created for adults and parents and may not be suitable for young children. I'm Dani, and I create this content to share bite-sized life tips to help you be the best you. Today's brief video is all about physical boundaries. How do we talk to our kids about good touch, bad touch, and why this is so critical to help protect them from forms of intimate partner violence, sexual abuse. Later on is a lot of data out there, and it's growing, that shows that young women who are victims of narcissistic abuse are at a much greater risk of contracting STDs and having unwanted pregnancies. Many narcissists engage in unprotected sex, have a history of STDs, or have multiple sexual partners, and of course may conceal all of that from their next victim. Also plenty of data to show that narcissists can be very manipulative and controlling, and if their victim has low self-esteem or poor boundaries around physical touch, then that narcissist may pressure them to have sex before they're ready or abuse them. So parents and loved ones, we have got to be having these conversations with our kids. You know, when that door opens, we walk through it. If we're at the doctor's office, that's a perfect time and place to have that conversation. You know that, you don't show your body to anyone except mommy or daddy, a safe loved one, or the nurse. Your body is your own, and you have a right to decide if you want to be hugged or if you don't want to be hugged, right? This is something that they can take with them to school on the playground with the child who always wants to constantly hug them and touch them. Your child can have the confidence to say, no thank you, or kind of back away and end that touching session early. These are all life skills that we're building and instilling in our kids at a very young age, so that hopefully when the situation comes that they're a preteen or a teenager and they are absolutely getting exposed to sexual content, that they have a better understanding of how precious their body is and how important their comfort zone is. Keep in mind that narcissists and other predators of our children don't just abuse the child one day. It doesn't happen magically overnight. It happens with a scouting, a grooming session, testing for their boundaries to see how easy they are to exploit. And we can absolutely protect our children from this with more awareness, more comfort around the dialogue that it takes to instill strong self-esteem for our kids. Our medical professionals have a duty to report if they suspect abuse. It is so important for us to equip our young kids with the know-how around explaining things to their doctor, talking to their doctor, making sure they feel comfortable expressing concerns that maybe they don't want to share with you even. Talk about the VEST technique in another video, which involves validating, empowering, setting boundaries, and talking with your kids. And this is so appropriate here. You got to remind your kids to think about how they feel in a particular situation. And if there's anything tricky about that adult because they're potentially violating a boundary for that child, if that child knows what the boundary is and they know firmly that nobody needs to be touching them if they don't want that, then that makes it a lot easier for the child to have the words also to express something that happened. Boundaries and conversations like this build on each other, and by the time they're of age where they're in situations or being exposed to things that maybe other kids have no idea about because their parents don't talk to them, they're not going to be as pressured and be in a situation where all of a sudden the exploitive person is setting boundaries for them, and then the consequence might be an STD, might be a pregnancy, might be a form of abuse, and that has lifelong consequences for that child. So let's get in front of this and be proactive and have imperfect conversations about this with our kids. I will see you guys again very soon. Remember that you've got this. Ciao.